he hated us when he was a kid. I remember once in Cloisters, and no more pictures, Arthur, no more pictures. He couldn't cope with it. He hated it, and Harry hated it. And I remember one of Harry's policemen once told me, on his way to nursery, he said, I hate tographers. And William was determined that wasn't going to be for his children. And the way he does it, I think Kate's pictures are brilliant of the children. I think she shares them with us, and there's no pressure on them. They go to school without any intrusions. I mean, every start of every term we'd be outside the school or the nursery, and they hated it. And when I look back on it, I can see why now. Now.
Just to clarify, he likes you now, though, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, we're good friends now. Yeah, but I mean, then it was tough. Yeah, I mean, I feel for him now. I remember clearly when he came up to me that day. He said, "Please, no more pictures, no more pictures." And he was about 9 years of age then, and I just felt so sorry for him. And I understand why she's doing it, and Catherine's doing it, and she's turned into an excellent photographer. And I think those pictures that she shows to us, I don't think anyone else can do a better job than what she does. I mean, there's one picture with William and the 3 children on a swing. I mean, I thought that was just a superb picture, beautifully composed. Those are, she's got it cracked, and as long as she keeps sharing us with them, I think it does keep the pressure off the kids.
I suppose we should say at that point, Mother's Day photograph excluded from
anyone.
from that.
We all make mistakes, Nick.
Yes.
We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes.
And she apologised and she fronted up, and
Absolutely,
it's quite rare. We don't get many apologies from California when mistakes are made or when they say things, offensive things. I think what she did then was, she fronted up and apologised and said she made a mistake. But I'll take your point. Yeah. It wasn't only the 6-part documentary I was watching as well. I have dipped into Finding Freedom recently.
What's going on with you? Are you okay?
Yeah. And
have you re-listened to the podcast as well?
Haven't you got Netflix?
One thing that jumped out, and it's really relevant to Meghans' Instagram photographs and the use of her children, is this line where, in Ovid Scobie's book, he said that when Archie was born, Meghan didn't want to serve up Archie on a platter. Yeah. For us, the media and the public. Is she going against that mantra now by putting her children out on Instagram and using them as much as she possibly can in promotion for As Ever and promotion for all her stuff? She's going against that line.
The front page of the As Ever website didn't have Meghan and Lilibet running across the lawn, but it was taken from a certain angle and from a distance where you couldn't see their faces. So, look, and again, I suppose we can go back to the video in the Labour ward here. Again, you can make an argument for privacy, and I don't think women should be forced to stand there with their baby hours after, giving birth. And that clearly was a big issue for Meghan at the time. But equally, then 4 years later, deciding to share what is a very private moment for a couple, the birth of a child, it kind of contradicts with her earlier assertions about privacy.
Contradicts. You're being very polite. Yeah.
I think that's the sticking point with a lot of people. Again, I think that people do respect the decision that they've kept the kids out of the public eye, but it's then when they show up commercially, it is her decision. Of course, it's her decision, but it does just seem very jarring when you compare it to what a big deal, and rightly so, but what a big deal they made about it back then, and now because there is money involved, that's the part I think that is PR-wise, it just doesn't sit that well with people.
But America's everything's about money, isn't it? I mean, it's their way they work. I mean, the Oprah Winfrey and the book and everything, it's all about money for them. Here it's not that way, I mean, Catherine doesn't charge us for her pictures, she shares them with us freely, and I think, but there it's all about making money.
Yeah, but I suppose Catherine's got the Duchy of Cornwall to fall back on, which is £23 million a year. But Harry and Meghan do have to make money, don't they, somehow? And if by using their fame and their notoriety, that's how they do it. That's clearly what
talking about making money. You touched on this earlier about the hotel and restaurant idea. So the Sussexes or Archwell or As Ever, I think it's As Ever, has registered or the desire to use its trademark on hotels and restaurants. Is this a good idea? Is this just part of the Duchess of Sussex's entrepreneurship? Are we going to expect her, a kind of Airbnb with Meghan being the hostess that we've seen on her documentary, turning up and putting flowers on your breakfast when you check in?
I like it. I think, look, I like it for her in terms of it was laid out there that insides had said she wanted to be a billionaire and she was planning to be a billionaire. I didn't see how that could happen with what she had already put out. Maybe this is the way in, the hotel and restaurant.
The jam wasn't going to make her billions.
You're going to have to sell a lot of jam
Yes,
at a really high price.
It is sold out though. People want it.
Yeah, but how many were on sale, Chris? That's the question. But when I saw this, I thought, again, if that's her ultimate goal, I suppose this is a good area of it to go into. But of course, the problem with that is, as we discussed on this show, is with Meghan, her hosting skills, they're good, but we weren't exactly sort of, reinventing the wheel with what was being suggested. I think it was like flowers on pillows and with the pretzels in a different bag. Anyway, bath bombs.
Flowers on the fried egg.
Edible flowers on absolutely everything. Although I do see for her, she has connections with Soho House. She has her friend, I think he's one of the higher ups there. I can see that she could be interested in creating a space like that, and putting her Meghan brand on it. I cannot imagine it would be in the UK. I don't think you're going to attract the clientele you want to that. So she's probably, this is a big US push, but who knows? We'll watch and see.
Arthur, what's your thoughts? Could Meghan run a successful hotel chain?
Would you stay there?
I think she can make money. I think she's pretty good at it. I think she could probably do that. Yeah, I think, people probably want to be associated with someone as famous as her. And who knows? But she's certainly going it alone now and doing very well. But, you've got to sell a lot of jam to become a billionaire, you're right. And maybe this is the only way she's going to do it. And then will she run? Does she want to be president? Who knows? She's got a lot of ambition. She might go into politics. Who knows?
I think she ruled that. She ruled that out on the podcast, right?
We've got Meghan for the rest of our life.
Yeah, we've got 30 or 40 more years of this, maybe even longer.
Meghan's going to be with us a long while.
Maybe it would be really interesting if on a royal tour somewhere we ended up staying in a Meghan-branded hotel.
Oh, God. I think the palace would kill her rather than do that.
The ultimate royal story. There you go.
You mentioned there about Meghan going it alone. It does really seem that all these things that she's doing with her Instagram page, as ever, her cookery show, as I like to call it, and potentially adding, hotels and restaurants. What's Harry doing?
Well, exactly. I don't know. He's probably just still feeding the chickens. I don't know what he does every day. I mean, he probably takes the kids to the park and stuff like that. But he doesn't seem to be having a real role now. And I keep thinking back to that video he made after when he lost the court case, and he looked so sad in that, so really down and not upbeat like he was normally. And I feel somehow he's having probably second thoughts. Maybe this is not such a great...
You mean with the BBC interview? Because I thought the same. I wondered, that was only a month ago, it's been years. And as you say, for better or worse, Meghan's forging ahead with her path. But seeing Harry look exactly as you say, looking so defeated.
Was reconcile with his father.
Yes, and it's so reflective, and it's still that looking back. And I think it appeared, and look, we don't know what goes on behind closed doors, but from that interview and the things he was saying, it just appears he seems quite stuck.